Little Giant Boxing.
He was Robert Garcia. Robert, first and foremost, what did you make of Naoya Inoue's performance over Tapales?
I think it's he had a great performance. He's a very talented fighter. Tapales was not just he was a unified champion. He beat MJ to become unified champion, and believe me, MJ is a special fighter, and for him to beat him, that tells you how good he is. So it wasn't supposed to be an easy fight for Inoue. It's just that shows how good Inoue is. That shows you how good he is. 'Cause he made it seem pretty easy.
What do you make? He became undisputed twice in this year.
Two-time undisputed. That's huge. This kid is in the next few years, I think he'll be the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. In the next few years, right now we still have Terence Crawford. I still think Terence Crawford is number one, at least in my list. I know a lot of people already picking Inoue over Crawford. I don't, because Crawford's also a two-time undisputed champion, and he's and he beat a top 3 or 4 pound for pound fighter to become undisputed. And the way he did it, just the way Inoue's doing it, but Inoue did not fight a top 3 or 4 pound for pound fighter. Crawford did. So that's why I still think Crawford is number one.
What makes Inoue so special in your opinion?
He's just so strong, so confident. He's got crazy power, but it's his, just his mentality, his attitude. Going into the ring, already knowing, whoever it is, he's gonna destroy. There's just those special ones, man. There's very few. You see those every 10, 15, 20 years, and he's one of those. He's one of those.
You know what I found interesting was Bam Rodriguez was right there ringside watching it.
Bam went to the fight.
And fans saying, we'd love to see those fights.
Yeah, but right now Bam's 112. He just became unified champion at 112, and he's gonna move up to 115 next year. His next fight will probably be at 115. But even then, that's still 2 weight classes. It's not something anybody will see anytime soon.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it might never happen, because Inoue might end up at 126 in the next 2 or 3 years, and Bam might be moving up. I think with Bam, we might do next year a couple of fights at 115 and then move to 118. So he'll be getting closer. I believe from what I hear, Inoue feels really comfortable 122. So he wants to
stay there for a while.
So he wants to stay there for a while. I think they're looking at maybe doing a fight with the kid from Tijuana. What's his name?
Neri.
Luis Neri.
Pantera Neri.
And then he might fight the kid that Joe Diaz has, MJ.
Akhmedov.
So that's going to take another year. So in that year, Bam moves up to 118. So it's getting closer. They'll be getting closer. Then I'm pretty sure he'll move up to featherweight. Bam will eventually move up to 102. So it's something that might happen in the near future. I'm not saying right now it's impossible. I will never do it. I know Mr. Honda would never want us to do that. So can't talk about that right now. But in the near future, it's a possibility.
Who's the fighter of the year in your opinion?
Fighter of the year, it's a tough one, because Inoue, the way he did it. 2 times this year, it's hard to count him out. But then Crawford had that performance, bro. Even though Crawford just fought once,
masterful performance.
Even though he just fought once, and there's other fighters that fought 2 or 3 times that could also be on the list. But I don't know. I just give it to Crawford, the way he did it. To who he did it, to another pound for pound guy. Those guys were 1 and 2s, 3 and 4s. Where. Some people had Spence over Crawford. Some people had Crawford over Spence. So it was 3, 4, 2, 3, 3, 2. So that's why I think Crawford deserves to be fighter of the year.
And what do you think about the rematch, Spence Crawford?
You know what? I don't know what Spence is planning on doing with training. We haven't seen anything. We haven't heard anything. I don't know. I don't even know what he's been doing lately. He should be training already. He should be in the gym. he should already be preparing for the rematch. I don't want to see him go out just to go out there and get a payday and cash out and then retire. That would be kind of a sad ending. But just like everybody else, it was hard to pick who was going to win. It was so close. Very few thought it was going to be an easy fight for either of them. Everybody thought it was going to be close. Some people would pick Spence with a little edge. Some people would pick Crawford with a little edge. But we all knew it was going to be a very, very close fight. But the way it happened, I think Spence needs to get back into the gym, start preparing for that, because if that's the next fight, he should already be training for that. I'm glad he took the rest of the year off, from fighting, because he didn't have to fight again. I always said he should take close to a year off. So if all this year he took it just to relax, enjoy, recover his body, stay healthy, then he'll come back strong. He should. I don't know what he's doing with training, but if he's gonna train with Derrick James again, then Derrick James is a smart man. He'll come up with a new, different game plan, different strategy, something new, something different. Or if it's a new trainer, I think whoever it is gonna be a lot of pressure on the new trainer to show a big difference. So that's gonna help Spence too. If he hears a new voice, new rules, new strategy, new mentality, it might help him. So I don't know what his plans are, but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
And obviously, some fans have also been talking about a possible Inoue Tank fight, but Tank put that to rest, saying, you know what, I'm not fighting this guy.
Well, it's pretty much the same thing. People saying Bam versus Inoue, Inoue versus Tank.
That's like Tank versus Crawford.
Exactly. Well, and the thing is that it's even maybe Tank versus a 154, because if you're talking about Tank versus Crawford, that's only that because Tank has already fought at 140,
right.
So that's only a one division difference.
Right.
So with Inoue and Tank, you're talking about 1, 2, 3 divisions.
Right.
Bam and Inoue, 3 divisions difference. I think it'll be Bam versus a 154 pounder. You know what I mean? That's probably the way I would probably compare them. I think Tank knows, and I wouldn't want to see that fight. It'll probably be a competitive fight because Tank is very short, so it'll be probably same height, But that's why there's weight. That's why there's weight differences, man. We've seen it before. We've experienced it in our own gym. That weights make a big difference, man.
Yeah, weights matter, right?
Yeah.
And talk about obviously Vergil Ortiz next week has a fight coming up, campaigning at 154. Talk about that fight.
You know what? It's been a good camp. We've had great sparring with Vergil. Something that I'm glad I was able to put everything together. That was kind of part of the reason. We had where he moved out of the gym. Because there was times where we didn't have the right sparring for him. But this time around we did. We put everything together. We were able to get all the guys come in to just get some sparring. My guy from the gym helping him out. I think Vergil's gonna go out there and do his job. He's very strong. That kid is probably stronger than before he left. Now that there's this training camp, he's stronger than he was before he left. So that is gonna make a big difference. There's little things, obviously reflex stuff that we're still working, and we're gonna be working fight by fight. Hopefully after this one we get something, where we could keep him busy. I want to see him fight at least 3 times next year.
Yeah, activity matters.
He's been out for a long time, and activity does matter. He's been out for so long that he needs to stay busy this year. We've seen it just recently in the heavyweights. Anthony Joshua, he fought 3 times this year and looked good.
Sharp.
And he looked good. He looked sharp. That's what fighters need to do. That's what fighters need to stay busy, stay active. I've talked about this so many times with Rudy Hernandez. Me and Rudy
He always tells me.
We've been friends since I was like fucking 12, 13 years old. I was 15 years old already sparring his brother Gennaro Hernandez. And we always talk about that, and he always says, fighters need to stay active, stay busy. When I was fighting, I didn't listen to him. When I was fighting, he would tell me, Robert, take fights in between your big fights, in between those big fights, take fights for a lot less money. It's gonna help you.
In the day, fighters used to do that, like Chavez,
yes,
like Oscar
but
De La Hoya.
but see, the thing is that nowadays no, fuck that. I'm not gonna risk half, making half of what I'm supposed to make in my next fight when
When my guarantee is like $2 million.
exactly, then you're not fucking doing the right thing. Activity is the best thing to do, and a perfect example is Anthony Joshua. We've all said it, and the whole world knows it. They've all talked about it too, that he's always had personal problems, mental problems, stuff like that. But activity is what kept him. He was always in the gym. He didn't have time to spend months and months without training or staying at home, hearing things from different people. He focused on his career, and the difference was, his last fight. He showed a lot of improvement, and activity was probably the main thing. And it didn't have to be who the trainer is, because he was with me at one fight. Then 2 fights he did it with James. This time he does it with Ben Davis. So it could be with any trainer. Just activity is what Anthony Joshua needed, and he looked really good. He did really good.
And talking about activity, look at Wilder, who had fought only 1 round in 2 years.
Exactly.
And
Parker had 3 fights also. His 3rd fight. So there it is. Wilder hadn't fought in a while, and look, didn't look too good.
What'd you make of his performance?
It's sad to see a fighter, look like, it's sad to see it perform like that. He's a great fighter. Made a lot of money. That's why when they make that kind of money, they feel like they don't have to fight that often, because obviously they've made too much money. But they have to activities where they
get comfortable.
They get too comfortable, and it happens to a lot of fighters, man. It happens to a lot of fighters.
Do you like that fight still, Joshua versus Wilder?
I think so. I think it'll still happen. Honestly, I pick Anthony Joshua probably by knockout.
Really?
Oh yeah, bro. Anthony Joshua by knockout. Wilder needs to get back to the gym and maybe get a stay busy win early next year, March or April, and then Joshua in the summer, and that will make him perform better. If he goes back to the gym, gets a quick win, and then gets into a Joshua fight, that'll make him perform better. If he waits another year and then he fights Joshua, he'll get knocked out.
Why do you think Joshua knocks him out?
Because Joshua hits hard, bro, and he's got skills. And look, and he had a good performance.
Right?
Yeah, because in activity, they're doing the right thing, man. Before I left, me and Rudy Hernandez, after the fight, Rudy Hernandez told them, fight before the end of the year right away. Get another fight. You need activity. Even though you lost, it was still a decent performance. They had a good performance. Get another fight. Stop all this bullshit. Really told him straight out. Stop all this bullshit. All you guys, push him to fight again. He needs to fight before the end of the year. And then again, they didn't fight at the end of the year, but they fought 3 times this year, which was the best thing he could have done. And that showed his performance. And we also told him, go to the States, train in the States. He did come for 2 fights. He didn't come with me, but he came for 2 fights and fought 3 times this year. So I think that was the best thing he could have done.
And also talking about activity again, look at Fury, how he looked with Ngannou, that former UFC champion.
Yeah, that disappointed me a little, because it wasn't just that he didn't fight often. I think he just disrespected boxing by not even training for that fight. That's my opinion. I think he didn't train for the fight. I think he just took the fight so lightly. He wasn't in shape and made boxing look bad. A world champion, heavyweight world champion, having that performance against a guy that's turning pro, it was just bad. But yeah, it could have been an activity. I just think he didn't train, and he thought it was gonna be just a little exhibition type of fight, walk in the park, but he didn't do it.
In that same card, in that same night, Conor McGregor was there ringside saying he would love to fight Pacquiao at 160, 170.
Yeah, well, to do something like that is to make a lot of money. Conor McGregor is a big name. Pacquiao's a big name. So if they do it, it's to make huge money. and just the business. If they're looking at Saudis putting up a lot of money, so if they want to put up the money, I'm pretty sure they will both get paid very, very well. But that's not really a boxing fight. It's just a show for the fans, for just to get fucking richer, just to make a lot more money.
Would it be a little competitive since
Yeah,
Pacquiao's
I think
much
it will.
older?
Yeah,
now?
Pacquiao's like 44, I think,
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah, it will be competitive. Definitely will be. Plus, Connor's very big. If they do the fight, it's gonna be like at 168, maybe 60, 68. Pacquiao never fought at that weight class. He's too small, so it will be competitive.
What would you make of the back and forth between Canelo and McGregor when they started going at it?
I didn't even know about it. I didn't even hear about it.
They started.
Well,
Conor just started talking smack to Canelo, saying like talking shit.
well,
basically.
if he wants to fight Canelo for a big payday too, it's fucking smart. Why not? McGregor did it with Mayweather, so now he wants to do it with Canelo, get another huge payday. Shit, I don't blame him. That's what it is right now, man. It's boxing, man. It's a business right now. A lot of YouTubers are doing it because of that, because they're making a lot of money, So, man, it's just the way it is right now with boxing. There's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of big opportunities. A lot of fighters that would never, in the 80s and 90s, they would never even be a top 10 fighter. Or would never even compete for a world title fight. Right now we have a lot of that happening. A lot of fighters that would never even be sanctioned to fight. They're being sanctioned right now to fight for world title fights, to fight a world champion. So why not? It's a good time for boxing where they make a lot of money.
Robert, you had a tremendous year. A lot of your fighters came up on top. Before we get to that, talk about your son Pita. Obviously, how proud you are of him being in your corner and always being there with you.
We teamed up very well. A lot of times, outside of boxing, sometimes there's the son and dad. When they do business together, they kind of hit and disagree on a lot of things. But we don't get that with Pita. In the gym, we're always on the same page. There is sometimes a few little things where, sparring here, let's do this, no, why don't we do this? And he'll switch it around and turns it around to maybe something better. Or sometimes I'll do the same for something better. Maybe there's something where we disagree on some fights where, should we take this fight? You think my fighter is ready for this fight? He might say no, but I think he is. Or I might think no, and he thinks he is. And, we could have those little disagreements, these little arguments between the team. But at the end, we managed to put it together. He works hard. He loves what he does.
In the gym every day.
He loves what he does. He connects with the fighters, man. All the new younger generation. From when Josh Tanahara and those guys started. He was not just like the coach. He was like a brother to them. They would hang out, go eat. I'm the older one, so I would be like my dad was a few years back. Where it was my dad and me. I was in charge of everything, but my dad was always there looking after me. So I kind of that same thing. And then with Josh and Bam right now, and all the new guys we have right now, pretty much the same thing. Just like the way my dad was with me. Now that's the way I am with my son. Doing great, man. I'm happy for Pita, doing great. He's a smart kid, in boxing, but also outside of boxing, he's a smart kid, Very happy for him, I have, my other son, Payo, also doesn't like to be involved in boxing. He likes to go to the fights. He loves boxing. He loves to go to the fights. But he also decided to go another, and he's got his own shops. He's got 2 shops here in Paris, and doing pretty good too. So I think my wife did a great job. I was focusing boxing too much that I didn't have time to do much of the consejos and stuff like that. But my wife did a great job with my 2 oldest. Now we got to work on the other ones.
But it's a beautiful family
It is,
legacy,
Yeah,
from Mike
it
to
is.
becoming a world
Exactly.
champion to you becoming a world champion.
Exactly, bro.
Future Hall of Fame trainer.
Hopefully.
Now your son, future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And obviously your dad. So it's just beautiful to see like the family coming together.
It's nice, bro. Especially when we see last night we're at my dad's house, and we're all there. Or for Christmas Day we were there too. Christmas night,
I saw that
Christmas
karaoke.
Eve. Yeah, just having fun. Mikey shows up, my sisters, myself, my kids, my dad. We're even because sometimes a lot of times, myself, my sister's daughters, Mikey. Sometimes we might think that my dad lost my mom 3 years. We lost my mom 3 years ago. So it's been 3 years that my dad's been by himself. My sister lives with him, but there's those times where my sister has to go out and my dad's home alone. He kind of complains a little. Hey, he's 79. He complains. He doesn't want to be by himself. So we have to be the ones, either my sister, me, Mikey. We come by. We spend time with them every day at night. We're there with him. So we're right there talking about some of those moments where he gets mad and he's a little upset at us for not coming, where we also have things to do. But then at the end we see him, but look at him. But right now he's fucking happy because he sees what he did when he came to the States illegally, fucking working through jobs that very few people do, picking strawberries, and now seeing, his two sons world champions. Then he sees the rest of the family there, the grandkids, great grandkids hanging around, playing around. Barris is great grandkids. So we're like, he's happy. My dad's a happy man. So we see shit like that, and I love that. He comes to the gym, enjoys. This morning, I'm still in bed, and he calls me. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm still in bed, Dad. Let's go get breakfast. Where to? Let's go to IHOP. All right, I'll meet you there. I got up. I told my wife. My wife's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm gonna go have breakfast with my dad. She's like, maybe I could go. I'm like, nah, he's already there. I gotta go. He's already there. He's already there waiting for me. You know what I mean? Those things like that, those moments like that are fucking priceless, bro.
Yeah, that's great.
Those are priceless moments.
And lastly, before I let you go, obviously you're always proud of all your fighters when they win, but talk about some of your favorite wins from the RGBA team.
Man, I've had 14 world champions, bro. I've trained more, and I've made 14 world champions that become world champions with me. Okay, but so every moment is beautiful, bro. Obviously, a great moment was my first world champion, Stevie Luevano. That was a great moment. First world champion. I was probably in my 20s. You know what I mean? So it was a great moment. But Abner Mares beating Cuellar was a great personal win for me, where very few thought we could pull it off. Very few people gave us a shot. What's his name? Maidana.
I was there, Broner, Alamadome, San Antonio.
The night before.
I remember.
The night before in the lobby in the hotel, a lot of reporters, a lot of boxing people, everybody was talking about it. And then that year, I think Cuellar, Gradovich, Mikey, they had all been champions and all were doing good. So they were all saying, Robert, if you win this fight with Maidana, 100% you're trainer of the year. But we don't think you're going to win it. Nobody gave me a chance. There was a lot of reporters that I actually put bets on, not bets on money, because I never like to bet money, but okay, you're going to do so many push-ups after the fight if I win, or you're going to do, I'm not going to give you interviews for a year or whatever. And after the fight, I was happy because we won. Nobody gave me a chance. I still didn't get trainer of the year, but it was a great win. That win was fucking huge. That win was.
You're the people's trainer of the year.
That win was huge because
I remember still after Maidana won and he had the crown and you guys were walking backstage and everybody was going crazy.
You know what? That was the first time. That was on it was Maidana versus Broner. It was still on the Golden Boy. It was Al Heyman fighters, but it was still on the Golden Boy Promotions, and that was the first time I ever got calls from every other promoter in the world calling me to congratulate me, from people, from
worldwide,
top promoters calling me. Congratulations, Robert. We're so happy for you. I got calls from every promoter in the world. All the top promoters calling me, congratulating me for a win that they had nothing to do with. They were just happy for me. They were happy for that win that we got. So that was probably the biggest, because the way it was, 6-1 underdog, stuff like that. But then we go back to what's his name, Joshua Franco. He was 6-1 underdog too. Nobody gave us a shot against Maloney, and he beat him.
In Oklahoma.
So I've had great wins, man. I can't mention them all because fuck, we have going.
What about
through.
this year though?
This year, look, Bam had a great year. He came back from a broken jaw, came back to become unified, came down in weight, became a 2-division champion. So Bam had a great year. I think it was a good year for Raymond also to show his talent. People started noticing him from his fight with Nakatila. Then just recently his performance he had against Torres was unbelievable. I think he made a lot of noise. A lot of people started recognizing him for his wins. The younger ones too. Jose had a good win in early last year. I think I would have loved for him to fight before the end of the year, but there was a few things going on there with promotion stuff and stuff like that. So that's why he wasn't able to fight. But he would have had 2 fights this year, and he would have had a good year too. There's man, we have so many young guys, like Chop, Cardenas, who are doing really good.
You can tell Chop's gonna be a world champion. He's a motherfucker.
He's better to do it. Cardenas did really good in his fight in Arizona too. So we got a good team, man. We got a lot of good fighters, good believers. They believe in ourselves. They believe in the team, and it's just the beginning, bro. We're teaming up with good people around the world. With Maxroom, Top Rank. Toscano Promotions has been very supportive. Mr. Honda, man, I think we have great relationship with everybody. Now that Vergil's here, we're gonna be teaming up. Working with Golden Boy again, and man, I think next year could be even better.
All right, before I let you go, anything you want to say before we close out the year?
I just had a great year, and I'm telling you, I think next year will probably be even better, because we have guys like I'm telling you, like Chop Cardenas, and a lot, Art Barrera, who's going to fight in February. He's going to be one that people are going to open their eyes on. And just all the younger ones, man. We had so many. I can't. It's hard to mention them all because I don't have them all. I would have to have a list to be reading them all. But and Bam will be moving up to 115. I'm pretty sure. He doesn't want just to stay busy fights. He wants to fight the best. He says he wants Gallo next, and that's what we're going after. Hopefully we get Gallo. Vergil will probably fight for a title. If everything goes well next week, he'll probably fight for a title. Raymond Murtaya should fight for a title. Giovanni Santillan had a great win too. Let's not forget Giovanni Santillan had a great win. He'll more likely fight for a title too. Just to mention the ones that I don't forget, man. I don't know. I'm sorry because we had I had forgotten about Santillan, and look at the win he had. He had a fucking tremendous win against Rocha. So I think he'll fight for a title too. So I think this next year 2024 will be huge for RGBA. And I don't know who else, who else is gonna call me, say they want to train over here.
How do you decide when you're like yes or no? I know you get in with your dad. With most of the fighters, we always like humble kids, kids that are gonna listen, that I'm
are
sure
hungry.
you had to reject a few, right?
You know what? I've had guys in my gym that I have to tell, I can't work with you guys anymore. I tell the managers, you guys need to find them somewhere else to go because it's just different. The guys in my gym are humble. They're dedicated. They're disciplined. So we need that. I don't like kids coming in trying to get all the attention, calling shots, trying to boss me around. Nobody does that in my gym. There's also those that have that attitude where they come in, jewelry, earrings, and I don't allow that. I don't allow stuff like that. Everybody in my gym knows that, and they're all humble. So that's the type of fighter we want. Guys that are hungry to become world champions and do great in boxing, but not those that want special attention, that bring 20 guys behind them to just hang around with them. That's not my style. It's just the way it is. Fighters know that. Those that know are the ones that try to be here. That they know how we are.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate your time as always.
Of course.